Calgary Police Service is investigating following an officer-involved shooting that occurred earlier today. The events of this morning, I must say, were very dynamic, but here is what we know so far based on our surveillance from Hawks. Patrol officers observed a stolen vehicle in Huntington Hills early this morning, and Hawks was called in to assist. The vehicle was observed parking in the area of 12 Mile Cooley Road and Blue Ridge Drive, northwest, at approximately 2:20 a.m. along with another vehicle. Officers then moved in to contain both vehicles. At that time, the driver of the second vehicle surrendered to the police. The driver of what is believed to be the stolen vehicle seen in the Huntington Hills got out of his truck and jumped into the second vehicle. It was at this time that the driver maneuvered the vehicle in close proximity to the officers. One officer fired his service firearm at the vehicle. The truck then fled at a high rate of speed. After driving to Cochrane, the man exited the vehicle. Calgary Police, in conjunction with the RCMP, located the vehicle, and one man was taken into custody a short time later. The original driver of the truck along 12 Mile Cooley Road was also taken into custody. It is not known whether or not charges will be laid with the second arrest. No one was injured as a result of the shooting. As in protocol with these incidents, the Calgary Police Service will investigate the incident, and the Alberta Serious Incident Response Team will be reviewing the investigation. Anyone with information of this incident is asked to call police using the non-emergency number 403-266-1234 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. The information I can share about this investigation is limited, but I will try to answer your questions.
So there were two trucks?
There were two trucks.
Were the occupants, drivers of both vehicles, known to each other?
At this point, the investigation is still ongoing. I can't say for sure if they knew each other or not. That'll be determined through the investigation.
But there happened to be a second vehicle on that road at...
There happened to be a second vehicle on that road, so I'll say this to you. We believe that at one point, both individuals were in one truck. So the truck that was already there, the stolen truck comes up with one male involved. He jumps into that vehicle, and at that point where the police moved in, the one individual, the second vehicle, surrendered immediately, and the driver of the stolen truck took off with that individual's vehicle.
Was the vehicle hit by any of the projectiles involved?
We believe there was. But again, IDENT Forensic Crime Scenes is going over the vehicle. We believe at least one round struck that vehicle.
Was it from a shotgun or from a handgun?
No, service firearm, service pistol.
Only one officer fired these shots?
What I know right now, only one officer fired shots.
Do you know how many shots?
At least I can say at least one shot, and again, it's subject to the investigation and subject to crime scenes going over the scene.
And was Hawks over the scene?
Hawks was overhead the entire time, so we have video from Hawks, and we also have in-car digital video from the incident.
And what do you mean when you say the vehicle maneuvered towards the officers? It backed in or drove at?
All I can really say to clarify that, again, the investigation's ongoing, is that the vehicle got close to the officers, close proximity to the officers. The officers felt threatened, and at least one officer fired his service pistol.
What's police policy when it comes to firing a weapon at a vehicle that's moving or stationary?
So our training is so when you go to move towards firing your service firearm, shotgun, C8 service pistol, is that to use lethal force is what we look at, right? So what you're looking at there is grievous bodily harm, serious injury up to and causing death. So if an officer believes that that's what he's facing, that's when he will move to that level of force.
So
Yes.
the vehicle was first spotted by police, this vehicle, or was somebody
Yeah.
called it in?
No, so great question. What happened was that patrol vehicle, routine patrol, observed the vehicle, determined it was was stolen, and then immediately they called Hawks in to support. And what they were doing was following the vehicle, looking for a point where that vehicle could be safely stopped.
Okay, but obviously they got to realize what's happening.
Correct.
As the vehicle was moving towards 12 Mile Cooley from Huntington Hills, was it moving at a high rate of speed? It indicated the driver would know he was being tracked from above?
At this point, I can't tell you. That'll form part of the investigation. I just don't know what speeds or how that the driver was being, if it was being driven in erratic fashion. I don't know at this point.
You say that the driver of the vehicle that was already at that location surrendered himself. Our information was initially that he was pushed out by the
To my knowledge, and again, the investigation's moving forward, and even as I'm standing here, information could change by the time I'm done. But my indication when I talked to the investigators was that he got out voluntarily. Okay, so he got out voluntarily, surrendered because he's being challenged by the police. Second individual says, I'm taking the truck, and then drove away, the truck.
So he just slides over from the passenger seat to the driver's seat to the...
Yeah, and that still has to be determined. So I want to make that clear. I don't know at this point that version of events, if he got into the driver's seat, how that was, if he was outside the truck. Again, it's changing as we're moving forward with the investigation. So, and the surveillance video will clarify a lot of that for us.
And the video is from the police vehicles
And Hawks, that's correct.
Huntington Hills, is there any concern that we've had a few stolen vehicles and incidents around there?
Well, I think the concern is we have vehicles stolen all through the city. So any of those anytime that happens is a big concern for us. And of course, when we end up with this type of situation, where we end up with potential harm to the public, is a big concern. And we're moving towards that too, trying to stop stolen autos, that type of thing, right?
Still a big issue right now.
Right now, it's still an issue that we're working to address. Yeah.
How many officers were at the scene when this happened, and the officer that fired his gun, what's his level of seniority?
Great question. So there's 4 officers that I know of at the scene when this unfolded. The officer that was fired his service weapon, 3.5, 4 year service.
Was there a foot pursuit during that arrest in Cochrane?
There was a foot pursuit in that arrest in Cochrane.
How much time went by between the shooting or the service weapon going off 12 Mile Coulee to the arrest in Cochrane?
At this point, I can't tell you. I do not know that.
Any weapons or drugs found in either vehicle?
At this point, I can't tell you that. As you know, protocol goes, when you have stolen vehicles, you need search warrants, go through the vehicle, and we'll know later on. We'll be able to verify that for you. So,
And just for clarification,
right.
The one driver surrenders himself, but you can't say if the other man that took off in the vehicle, I mean, he would have had to have moved over to the driver's side somehow.
Yes. So what I'm saying to you is this is still being clarified for. So either he's in the truck and he slides over, or he's outside the truck but he gets into the driver's seat, and then he moves forward with that vehicle. So does that clarify for you? Okay.
You said that you believed at least one bullet hit in one of the vehicles. Was it the vehicle that is still at 12 Mile Coulee, or was it the vehicle?
No,
that
it's the
fled?
vehicle that fled. And again, I'd be clear on this, we have to verify how many rounds were fired and how many times the vehicle was struck. So that's still ongoing.
And while this investigation,
Pardon me? No, I can't say that. What I can say to you is at least one. Okay? And we'll clarify that for you as the investigation unfolds. So.
what happens now with the officer that fired the shot?
So the officer is fired for a shot as a standard procedure. Will be he'll be booked off 30 days administrative leave. Okay, and the investigation will proceed from there. So.
Is ACERT on scene now, or expected to be soon?
No, ACERT's not on scene. What they're doing is we will conduct the investigation, and then when we have the investigation completed, ACERT will go through our entire file and verify that it's been done. There's integrity in that investigation, and they will direct us if there's other follow-up they wish us to do.
The vehicle was stopped. Was there a police vehicle trying to block that truck off, and then it sped off, or what were the positioning of the police vehicles?
You know what? I really can't answer that right now. Again, the investigation's ongoing. We'll have to wait till the investigators can brief me on what's on the Hawk video and also what's on the in-car digital. I haven't looked at the video yet. I haven't got access to it. So.
This is the third officer-involved shooting in less than 3 weeks. Is there any level of concern with how frequent this is happening recently?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think for any police agency, anytime that you have you're using lethal force, you're going to question and look at each of these investigations. So there's a couple things that we'll look at here. One is we'll go through each of the files where shots are fired. We look at each of them and see what uniqueness could be to that. And if there's anything that has to be adjusted to our training policies, all that goes. And that's our broader piece. Obviously, we'd like to go through and never have to fire our firearms, right? That's the object. But that's not necessarily the reality of where we face in policing in 2016. Okay.
Any other questions?
Just want to get a photo of you.
Absolutely.
Were any of the suspects known to police?
Okay, so the individual that was apprehended in Cochrane, I can say was known to police. The second individual we're still trying to determine. The one that was taken in custody where the two trucks were, we're still looking at his background. So
You can't say if this was a planned, arranged meeting.
I can at this point. I fully believe that as the investigation goes forward, we'll be able to say that. But right now, I can't clarify that for you. So
Are both parties that are in custody being cooperative? Are they speaking?
I can't say that. I don't know at this point, right, where the investigators are going with it. So.